Here we go. All right. So, yeah, I was saying, so you'll all receive an email with links to the recipes as well as photos of what we're going to cook tonight, and also a link to our YouTube channel called The Blade Runners, where you'll find all our other classes that we've done. We did so many during lockdown these last 2 years. This isn't our first fake away class. This is, I think, our second or our third. We'll be doing some more because every time we do one of these classes, by showcasing a different recipe, we're also able to share with you different hints and tips as well that just make using your Thermomix so much easier. Now, a bit of housekeeping before we start as well. If you have any questions, you can pop them into the chat, but you can also come off mute, ask us a question, and just remember to put yourself back on mute. Otherwise, we'll be able to hear everything that's going on in your house. This is my son, Liam. So he's going to be interrupting me a few times today because my husband isn't here to look after him. So, yeah, so apologies in advance. We're going to get started. So first I want to thank my team. I want to thank Ashley, Amanda and Sue who are helping tonight. Our team is called the Blade Runners, and if it's your first session with us, we're located in Sydney, more so Southwest Sydney, and we have a team of 15 consultants. So if you've ever thought about joining yes, I do. So if you have ever thought about joining Thermomix, have a chat to your consultant or have a chat to me because there are still spaces available. We are capped at how many consultants we can have. So, yeah, get in touch because we'd love to chat to you about that. He's cute, he can stay. Okay, if Elizabeth says you can stay because you're cute. Okay?
Yeah, I'm really small.
You're small?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. All right, so we're going to start off with Ashley, who's going to show us a recipe that I've known for a number of years, but I haven't seen it circulating around lately. So we want to bring it back to life. It's the Quirky cooking fried rice. Has anyone heard of this recipe before or even heard of Quirky cooking? Susan? Yeah, you would have. Yeah, I know you'd be a fan of Quirky cooking. She's got amazing recipes. So Ashley's going to show us how to make that fried rice. Sue's going to show us pad Thai noodles with prawns. I've actually never made pad Thai, but it's something that I always request when I go to a Thai restaurant. So I'm really keen to see how it turns out. Amanda's going to show us some dumplings. I'm not sure if it's prawn or pork, but it doesn't matter. You're going to learn so many techniques on how to fold that dumpling. And this is one of the things that you can save so much money in making yourself instead of taking out. And you're going to be surprised actually how easy it is to make these. I'm going to show you Big Mac style burger sauce. Big Mac style burger sauce. So we make a lot of burgers at home. And this is a sauce which isn't too bad. It's not exactly the same. And the reason why it's not exactly the same because it doesn't have all the crap that you would get from the takeaway, like, you know, all the additives and preservatives. Sorry. Then I'll also show you some fried chicken. So it's actually a KFC fried chicken. And then I'll finish off showing how to, so pizza dough. So I know we've all done pizza dough before, but that's not what I'm going to show you tonight because we all know how to knead bread. So dough, I mean. So I've got a little good hints and tips for you around pizza dough. So I hope you enjoyed tonight. Bye-bye. If you have any questions, please let us know. But we're going to kick off with Ashley to show us the Quirky cooking fried rice. Over to you, Ashley.
Good evening, everyone. I will apologise as well. My husband is running about an hour late, so I have two little monkeys being noisy in my background as well. So I've printed the recipe and it's really quick and easy. It's basically a one-pot sort of dish. So the first thing it asks for is either an onion or spring onion, roughly chopped, and one garlic clove. So I've got all that in there. To put that in there. Put my measuring cup back in, and we chop that 4 seconds, speed 5. So that's all roughly chopped. And then it says to place all that in the Varoma dish, which is the big one.
Yummy, 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 yummy.
And then it says to place, we're going to place 4 eggs into the mixing bowl and mix those up as well. Oh, that spring onion is strong.
And put the shells in.
No, the shell's going in the bin, buddy.
Yeah, but I just want to put the shells in.
Pop the lid on and they're mixing 5 seconds on speed 3.
So I'm getting a lot of you saying that you're not using your Varoma as much as you would like to, Who would like a Varoma cooking class so we can showcase our favorites? Let me know. I'm seeing some hands up. That's awesome. Well, in 2 weeks, we have a class called Meals in a Flash. We can do it after that one. So keep a lookout.
That's basically just scrambled your eggs. They are going to go in your top tray. Some watered baking paper. I've just run that under the tap, scrunched it and placed it out on the top tray. So you're tipping the eggs into that one.
Hey, Mom, the inside of the eggs look very, very yummy.
Yes. Okay, so and after that, we're going to quickly rinse the bowl.
Yeah.
And then we're going to weigh out some coconut milk and some water into the bowl.
What
Sorry.
bowl, Mom? What bowl?
So it's a 400-gram coconut milk. And this recipe, I think, must have been made for 31 because there's a tip at the bottom that says for TM5, which obviously would apply to 6 as well, which says to add an extra 100 grams of water if you're using a 5 or a 6 because the bowl is bigger. So instead of adding the 500 grams of water, I'll be adding 600.
Is that already boiled water or boiling water that you're adding?
I think the
Or
kettle
just-
was boiled, but it was quite low and I topped it up. So it's probably like lukewarm.
Oh, okay.
It doesn't specify whether to add water, cold or anything. I would assume it's basing it from cold.
Yeah, I was just thinking if you add boiling water, it just speeds up the cooking process.
Yeah, it
That's
would,
all. You
yeah.
could just reduce it by a few minutes.
So from there, it's asking me to pop the lid on and weigh my rice into the simmering basket and then rinse it really well under cold water. I've already done that to save some time. I find the best results from rice in your Thermomix is rinse it and rinse it and rinse it and then just rinse it once more. So mine's already done. This does make a lot. It does ask for 400 grams of basmati rice, which is a lot. But I've got 4 children, so it'll get eaten in this house. You could adjust that and make a smaller batch if you wanted to. So this is going straight in there. And then we're putting everything on the top. So put the lid on. So in your Varoma, it's saying to put 1 to 200 grams of meat of choice. So bacon, chicken, fish, prawns if you wanted to. It's asking for carrots, celery stalks. It's also got some suggestions. So you could add broccoli or cauliflower, shredded cabbage, spinach or bok choy, peas, corn and carrot, those sorts of things. So my prawn loving 4-year-old's already handing me the prawns, but my prawns are already cooked. So I'll probably put them in towards the end of the cook time. I have already chopped up a heap of things. I've got some bacon, some celery, some bok choy, and some cabbage here, and just some frozen peas, corn and carrots because they're already in my freezer. And sorry, 4-year-old's stealing the bacon. So that's all just going in there. The eggs on the top. And then we're setting that to, it's going to cook for 20 minutes on Roma temp and on speed 4. So while that's cooking, I might as well go to the next person.
I'm having a bit of technical difficulty here at the moment because someone was trying to FaceTime me and now I can't get back to Zoom. Just give me a second. Okay, here we go. If you guys could just, oh my gosh. Have you going? Okay, can you guys see me when I talk now?
No, I can't see you, Sandra. Just a picture.
Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
I'm so sorry about that. I was getting a FaceTime from overseas. Oh my goodness. Okay, we're back on track. Sue, so Ashley, from what I understood, now that's all going to cook at once, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so all right. So whilst that's cooking, we're going to go over to Sue, who Sue's going to show us pad Thai noodles with prawns.
Like Sandra, I order pad Thai from when we have takeaway, but I've never cooked it, so this is the first time cooking it. So that shows you on the Thermomix how to line your trays. So we're going to put egg on the tray like Ashley is with her fried rice. So I've done that. I've lined both trays because in the bottom is going to have the prawns, the top the egg. We've got the rice noodles in the thermo server. I'm going to add boiling water to that and let that soak. So that will soak while we get on to the next step. Okay. All right, 80 grams of roasted unsalted peanuts go in. They're going to chop for 10 seconds on speed 4. So we'll put that aside. There's our nuts chopped up. Okay, now we have 3 cloves of garlic, coriander, 6 stems of coriander, and a red chilli that I've deseeded because I don't want it too hot. And that's going to chop for 3 seconds on speed 7. That's our chopped up coriander, chili, and garlic. Now we're adding 20 grams of olive oil. And that is going to stir fry for a minute. So you can do chicken, pork, pad thai, whatever, just the same. You may need to cook the chicken a bit longer in the aroma, but same sort of thing. And what's it cost you in the shop? About $18. So depending on what protein you use in it is how much it costs you to make at home.
For those who don't know, you can cook any sort of pasta in your thermoserver. So if you've got a thermoserver and your Thermomix is cooking away and you don't want to, get a pot on the stove, just fill your thermoserver with boiling water from the kettle, add your pasta, pop the lid on, and then just let it sit there for 10 to 15 minutes, and that will cook your pasta. So it's great for pasta, great for the rice noodles, for pad thai, as Sue is doing that now. What else? I've heard it can do rice, but I've never tried. I think it would be crunchy rice. So I don't know. If anyone tries, let us know. But it's definitely great for pasta. So it can save you some energy, not using gas or electricity.
So we're going to, that's stir fried now. We're going to transfer half of that with the rice noodles. I've drained the rice noodles. They've softened up already. And I'll put the other in a bowl. Okay. Now we're adding 1.5 tablespoons of fish sauce, lime juice, tamarind paste, soy sauce, shrimp paste, and palm sugar that I've grated. So that's the palm sugar. It's hard to see. I've just grated it. Put the lid on. That's going to mix for 10 seconds. Going to transfer that in with the noodles and the other mixture that we made, the chili and chili, garlic and coriander.
I could actually eat it just like that right now without protein. Yum.
Oh, you could, yes. You could do some vegetables. So without cleaning the bowl, we're putting in 2 eggs. And that's going to mix for 3 seconds. I've got our prawns in the bottom of the aroma. And the eggs are going to go on top. And it's got the flavours from the sauce and the chopped herbs in there as well. Now we add 500 grams of water. A bit more.
And I love how with that step, you don't need to wash the bowl. You can just leave whatever's in there. Yeah.
Yep. Okay, aroma goes on top. And I've got this down the side.
All right, well, that's just going to steam now. So, Sue, tell us when it's ready so you can show us what the finished dish looks like.
Yeah. Okay.
And yeah, and Ashley, let us know when your dish is ready as well, so we can have a look at that, because I'll forget. It won't be the first time. Before we move over to Amanda to show us the dumplings, I want to show you the pizza dough, because it's been sitting here for a while and it's already proven, and we don't want to let it overproof, because then there goes all that hard work and we need to start again improving. So this is your basic pizza dough recipe, and what I've done was I did recipe and a half. So the recipe says 220 grams of water. I put 330 grams, and flour was 600 grams, and so on and so on. So then I just let it prove once all together. And in the second proving, I divided it into three. So 3 equal parts. It's around 330 grams each. And then I just let it prove, and I put it here on the mat, and I just had it covered like that so it wouldn't dry out. Now I'm going to show you how to roll pizza dough without a rolling pin. So do not grab your rolling pin, because you're going to actually ruin all the work that's gone here into proving. Those beautiful air bubbles inside will just disappear, and you won't get a really soft pizza base. So I'm going to show you how I learnt from an Italian how to roll the dough. So you do need to flour your thermomat so it doesn't stick. Your dough needs to be well floured. So it's a bit messy, but it's definitely worth it. So what we're going to do, and you can see all those beautiful air bubbles there. Oh, it's a bit hard to see, but yeah, they're the ones that you don't want to ruin. So when you cut into your dough and when you bite into it, you're going to see these beautiful air bubbles in the base. So so basically what you do is you want to create like a rim around the edges. So you just turn it around like this, keep going around, and just be really gentle. Okay, and then you want to stretch it. So just stretch it by, you just hold your hand down in the middle, and you stretch the dough. So this is one technique, and you can see it's not stretching back because it's really nicely proven. When you're stretching it, if it just shrinks back, it's because it hasn't proved enough. So you just got to be a little bit patient until you see that it's doubled in size. So that's one way, where you just keep stretching it this way, and you go round and round until you see that it's quite uniform. Or you can then just have a look at it this way. You can like see through it and see where is it that's still quite thick, and then with your hands move it around, and you can stretch it to so it's getting flour all over the place, so the thickness is uniform. So by doing it this way, I can still see all those beautiful air bubbles. And then what you do, I've got an oiled pizza tray here. You can sprinkle some semolina if you want. That'll give you a really nice crispy base. And then all you do is just put it on your pizza tray. And then whilst you're doing this, you would have your oven at the highest temperature possible. And I should have done that already. Highest temperature, because you want to cook these pizzas at a really high temperature, because have a think of like a wood-fired pizza oven. They go up to 350 degrees or more, and they cook these pizzas within a few minutes, right? So we want to try and mimic that with our ovens at home. So the trick is really high temperature. I also bake these just for a few minutes before I put the toppings on, and just until you get a bit of color. And then I put my toppings on, and then it goes back in. And I do this because we really like the crispy base. What I'm going to do tonight, I'm going to par bake them all three of them. I'm going to pop them in the oven, par bake them. Then I'm going to freeze them. So they're par baked and frozen. So come Friday night, we're tired. It's been a busy week. You don't know what to make. You've at least got these pizza bases done. You just pop them out of the freezer. You can let them defrost. They'll defrost in 10 minutes, or you can just put your toppings on whilst it's frozen, chuck it in the oven, and it'll still come out amazing. So that's my tip on how to do the pizza dough. So do not use your rolling pin, and you're going to find that you're going to absolutely love these pizza bases. So and the crunch is going to be amazing, trust me. So I'm going to continue. I'm going to do the other two. And whilst I'm doing that, we're going to go over to Amanda, who's going to show us dumplings. So over to you, Amanda.
Hi, okay. Can you hear me all right?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, perfect. All right, so like Sandra said, I'll be making dumplings. On Cookadoo, it's called Jiao Chinese dumplings. I probably have said that.
I love
I
it.
probably said that completely wrong. So you're doing the pork dumplings, but like everything in Woolworths, there's a shortage of everything. So there was no pork mince, so I've got pork and veal, which I think is going to be just as good. Doesn't matter. So that's what we're doing. Also, before I start too, I have not made the wrappers. There is recipes on there for dumpling wrappers, but honestly, this whole packet, which has, I don't know, 30 in it, and this recipe makes 30, $3. I was in the meeting until 7 o'clock tonight. I don't have time to make wrappers within $3. There's definitely plenty of recipes on Cookadoo for if you got more time and you want to make them. Okay, so we're going to start. So the first thing we have is the Chinese cabbage. Now, just a bit of a tip as well. This Chinese cabbage, I must be almost out of season. It's quite yellow and normally it's quite green, but I've noticed there's a lot of little black bugs in it, like little black markings. So I've actually had to really go through and give it a good clean. So if you don't want to use wombok, I'll just use like any cabbage you've got, because yeah, this one was really difficult with all the little bugs. So just a tip, if you can't get it, don't worry about it.
Whereabouts is the other wrappers located? I think from memory they're next to like the phyllo pastry.
No, these are in the fridge, in the fridge section, right? You know where you get like the Latino fresh and all that pasta in the fridge section?
Yeah, and that's where the phyllo pastry
Yeah.
is. Yeah.
Oh, is it? Sorry. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So
That's all right.
Okay. So 200 grams of the Chinese cabbage, which I really washed just because of all the little black bits. So, 200. There we go. And then next, 40 grams of celery. So nothing expensive, that's for sure. 40 grams of spring short onions trimmed and chopped. Now, honestly, my shorts were almost dead in the fridge, I'll be honest with you. But you know what? I managed to revive enough to get me through this recipe. You don't need to throw it out. It's just, even if it's a little bit wilted, it still tastes the same. And it's going to be shredded. No one's going to know. 1.5 teaspoons of salt. I'm not going to measure because I know that's pretty much a teaspoon. And we love salt, so. Okay. Just going to chop that for 10 seconds, give that a good heat up. I can hear that it's almost chopped up as well. So we're just going to have a look. Oh, wow, so if you can, I don't know if you can see that, but that is very chopped and it's a bit mushy, which is good. That's what we want. Now the next step says grab your simmering basket. Let's go to your simmering basket. So, now the reason why we're going to put this in the simmering basket is because we're going to try and drain some of the juice out of it so it's not so wet. If you can see, it's quite, I don't know if you can see that, but it is quite wet, which is fine. But we're just going to make as much out as I can. So we've got that out. And the next instruction says squeeze the side of it. So I'm going to bowl. So what I'm going to do is just up against the basket. I'm just going to press it, and I don't know if you can see, but there's quite a bit of juice coming out of it. Just press it just in your basket. I also use the basket to rinse the cabbage. So multi-use. Run some water. Let's hit the sink and run water through it. Okay, a bit of a mix again, and one more squeeze. Quite a bit of juice. Okay, that's good. Good to go now. leave that sitting on my board. Yeah. There's actually quite a bit of water on this board. As well. Okay. So transfer it into a bowl and set aside, which we've done. That's fine. Okay, so 250 grams of, well, this says pork mince, but you can really use anything you want, to be honest. Chicken mince, beef, whatever you like. We like pork at home. It did say rinse and clean your bowl. Joys of having a second bowl, I don't need to. This is actually quite good, isn't it? Yeah. So you could make more and freeze them as well if you don't want them, because this is double mince. So you could make your 500 and freeze them. There we go. Pork mince. Okay, so that's where we get into our sauces and our flavour. What have we got? We've got a teaspoon of sesame oil. I've just got sesame oil from the from Woolworths. Also got the world's slowest pouring sesame oil, don't I? Good for the Nana arms, all that shaking finger rings. One tablespoon of vegetable oil. Well, I've got olive oil out, so it really doesn't really make a difference.
So I just want to show everyone my first one's come out of the oven. So it barely has any color, but you can see that it's par baked. So that's ready for our pizza Friday night.
So I'm moving to 1 tablespoon of oyster sauce now. So okay. Now one teaspoon of white sugar. Now I don't actually ever buy white sugar. I never buy raw sugar, and I just mill it. But I didn't have time to mill it today, so I'm just going to use brown sugar. But if you don't, for those of you who don't know, you don't need to buy white. You can just mill it. Oh, I put way too much in there. Okay. And then 1 teaspoon of light soy sauce. To be honest with you, I really don't know the difference between light and dark soy sauce. Besides the thickness, I might be wrong. There might be something else, but
there's quite a bit of flavor difference.
Is there?
The dark is really strong. Yeah.
Is it like a? Because I know it's a lot. It's a bit thicker, isn't it?
But also the flavor is quite strong. So if you overdo it with the dark, it's actually quite overpowering.
It's too much.
Yeah. So I tend to use more of the light than of the dark.
So half a teaspoon of pepper. I'm just putting in what I know. Okay, so it says 2 teaspoons of white Chinese cooking wine. There is a soxing. I don't know if I said that right. I actually didn't have any. Sorry.
It's Shaoxing.
Oh, good. Glad you know how to say it.
I'll show you what it looks like. Hang on. It looks exactly like this.
Ah, will rice wine vinegar do the same thing?
Let me smell it. I've never actually had the.
I've got Chinese rice wine vinegar, so I'm going to just put a teaspoon in because I do put it in other dumplings. So why not?
Yeah, I don't see why not.
I can't see. It's be just a little bit more tarty, I reckon. So why not? Let's go.
Fine. I hate running to the shops when you just need one ingredient. And
Well,
there's
that's
always something you can substitute. Just do a quick Google and you can substitute.
Yep. And you know what? When it's only you guys eating it, and it might even make it better, you might go, oh, I like that. Okay, for 10 seconds, we're going to mix it.
Sherry. Susan's saying you could use sherry.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Thanks, Susan.
Good idea. Okay, so it says now, so I've done the 10 seconds, it's mixed it all together. So now it's actually asking me, so we're going to knead it. We're going to knead the meat for a minute.
Okay. All right. Well, whilst that's happening, we're going to move over to Ash because her fried rice is ready. Over to you, Ash.
I'll apologize, my 2-year-old's helping. So that's your egg all nice and done, easy. And I'm just going to cut it up with the spatula. So it just needs to be rough.
Guys, if you haven't cooked an omelette yet in your Varoma, you got to do it.
They're the best.
They're the best. There's a recipe called the 3 cheese omelette, and you can basically throw in any veggies that you like and with cheese, and it's so yum. Highly recommend it. 3 cheese omelette.
What I love, I've got 3 kids who love omelettes for breakfast, and it's 3 kids at the fry pan, 1 each. 1 egg, 1 omelette, 1 egg, 1 omelette, 1 egg, 1 omelette. And this way I can just do 1 big omelette and cut it in 3 and we're done. So I've just mushed that up with the spatula. That's going into the big dish. The rice is going in the big dish. Straight out and in.
Maybe lower your screen a bit so we can see the dish. Oh, perfect.
It's all
Thank
just
you.
in the big Varoma with my lid under it to catch any condensation.
I never thought of doing that in the Varoma. That's a good tip. I just do it straight in the tray, but that's good because everything's there already anyway.
The veggies
It makes
and the meat
so much.
Yeah, the meat and veg are already in there, so I've just tipped the egg on top, rice on top of that, give it a stir. Now the recipe suggests toppings. You could put a little bit of soy sauce through it, a little bit of sweet chili, salt and pepper to taste. You know, you could even put some sesame seeds or something through for some crunch if you wanted to. But yeah, that's it. Done.
I love the soy. I normally put lots of light soy sauce through it.
Yeah.
And coriander, fresh coriander. Yum.
Yeah.
And it tastes like just it's being fried, but it doesn't have that oiliness of fried rice. So you can definitely taste that it's much healthier, but all the flavors are still there, which is great.
I would actually
sesame oil, that's a good one.
That's what I was going to say. For me, I would probably add a little bit of sesame oil.
Yeah.
But yeah, that'd be about it. A little bit of sesame oil. I've just added a little bit of light soy, and sorry, out the way. And that's it. We're done. And that Varoma dish is nearly full. It's made a lot of rice.
I remember, like when I used to make this, I used to make it quite a bit, but it's been quite a few years actually that I haven't. But it just makes such a massive amount. So if you're going to a barbecue and and you've got to bring a side dish, this is a great side dish for you to take because it's just too really easy to make. Awesome. Well, Ash, don't forget to take a photo so we can send it to everyone with that soy sauce and all of that through it. Thank you for showing us this awesome dish. It's delicious. Thank you.
No worries. Thank you.
All right, so we'll go back to Amanda.
All right. Okay, so that's finished kneading. I just want to show you, I don't know if you can see it, but when it kneads, it looks very, I don't know if that's enough light. Sorry, I know it's a bit, anyway, it's a bit, the texture goes, it says a little bit creamy almost, the texture from the kneading, which is good. It means it will like stick together a bit better when we're actually putting it into our dumpling. So our next step from that is to add the reserved cabbage. So put that in there. Beautiful. Put it all in there. Okay. And then we're going to put the lid back on. 5 seconds, just give it a quick mix.
Hey, Susan, are you saying you put oyster sauce through the fried rice? Is that what you do?
Yeah. My kids always like, just a bit of oyster sauce. It just gives it that richness.
Yes, I was thinking that
Really
would give it an amazing flavour.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love oyster sauce and I didn't even think of that. That's good.
Yeah, not too much. It's overflowing. It's overpowering.
Yeah. Oh, thanks for that tip. I'm going to try that. I
Right.
love how we learn these things from each other at these cooking classes.
So I've mixed that cabbage through. So now it's in there. It's really hard to see, but so it's in there now. Okay. So these if you haven't worked with these wrappers before, they're really easy. They're not like a rice paper wrapper. They just pull apart so easy. Okay. So then all you do is actually for this one, there's actually a video that you can watch on the Thermomix, and it just shows you how to do it, how to wrap them. But what do? Let's take about a teaspoon of that. I put it in the middle, and then I wet my fingers a little bit, and then I just wet along the edge, and then you just close it up like you're folding an envelope. Fold it like that. Now, I think there is a bit of a fancy way that they do it, where they fold the side in. So you just, I don't know if you can see, but you sort of got like a half moon. So you just see there's a half moon there. And then I just fold one side in, and then you start doing a bit like show you, a bit of a pinch and a fold, pinch and a fold, pinch and a fold. Not the best one, pinch and a fold. I probably put a little bit too much filling in it. All right, so just tuck it in a pinch. Get a bit of that shape. So a little bit like a dumpling you would get at a restaurant.
Amanda, that looks perfect.
Does it look all right? And
the shape doesn't really matter because the flavour's there. So-
that's right. And that's exactly right. And today also there was some square wrappers, and they're called something. These ones are called Geyser. Sorry, my Asian is not very good. But the square ones are actually called dumpling. Hey, I go between both. Square, whatever. Doesn't matter. It's all the same. The fact is they're $3 a packet, and you get 30 out of them. And for anybody who goes for dumplings, 30 dumplings would cost a fortune. So anyway, then do
that would
another
be
one.
like $60. Isn't it like $2 something each at least?
Yeah, or you get like 3 on a plate on a basket for like $7 or whatever it is. So depending on where you're going. And these ones you can also, if you like wonton, you can do a different filling and put it into like a wonton soup as well for winter. Kids love that. So anyway, so you just sorry.
So Amanda, do you steam these or do you fry them?
No, I steam them. You can fry them, so I'm going to do that after. So just so you know, what you do is once you finish wrapping them, into your varoma, some paper, and then you put them in. How long are these things for? So 600 grams of water in your bowl, and then they steam in the varoma for 6 minutes, and they're done. Sorry, I take that back. Sorry, you steam these ones for 6 minutes, and then you, sorry, I should have read that properly. I haven't made these ones. Oh, sorry. You heat your water. So you heat your water for 6 minutes. But what I would do then is I just use the kettle, and then you steam the dumplings for 13 minutes in the varoma, which I'll do in a minute. I'll start some. And then that's it. So 13 minutes in the varoma steaming, and you'll have all your dumplings ready. So this makes 30 dumplings. So Sandra, do you want me to keep going?
Yeah, it's up to you. There's also there's lots of dumpling recipes on Cookie Dough, and with the dumpling recipe, you get the dipping sauces as well. Now, as you can imagine, there are so many variations to dipping sauces. I like one actually from taste.com. So if you just Google dumpling dipping sauce, there's one that comes up straight away, and that is my favorite. It is so easy to make, and it's got you can just shred in some fresh ginger, and it's just delicious. So I can pop the link to that recipe on the email that I'll send you all. All right, but they are all very similar to each other. So here are my pizza bases that are they're gonna go in the freezer, so they're gonna be ready for Friday night. So yeah, I've always got a few in the freezer ready to go, save me money and not go out on takeaway. Now I think Sue would be ready by now. Definitely ready. So Sue, do you want to show us what your pad thai looks like and give us a verdict? Because I know you haven't made them before. Tell us what you think.
I had a taste test of the prawns and they were nice. And
Oh, that looks so good.
yeah. When you put the prawns onto steam, you mix the half of the chili, garlic, and coriander through the prawns as they're steaming. So
Oh, yum.
yeah.
Okay, so you really have to love coriander for this dish.
Yeah.
I don't think there'd be a substitute for this one. You'd have to stick with coriander. Would you freeze before them or after cooking? I'm just going to freeze the bases, Anne. I'm not going to freeze with the toppings, and then I'll just put fresh toppings on Friday night. So yeah, I'm just going to wait for them to cool down, and then they go in the freezer. All right, so back to me. I'm going to show you how to make. What should I do first? Big Mac sauce. So it's really nice. Like I said before, it's not the same. Where is my Big Mac sauce? Oh, there it is. So some cookie dough. It's actually called Big Mac style sauce. Now, for this, I need mayonnaise. I didn't have mayonnaise. So again, just rather than running to the shops to buy mayonnaise, I made my own. And if you haven't made it, oh, please do. It is so easy to make. Basically, it's just 1 egg, 250 grams of oil. I use canola oil. The recipe says to use grapeseed. It is a lot healthier. I didn't have grapeseed, so I just use canola because that's what you use to make mayonnaise. And the eggs just got to be at room temperature, and then it's just some flavoring, a bit of salt, a bit of vinegar. You can put a bit of mustard as well. I kept it really simple, but yeah, it made all this, and it lasts for the last batch I made was at least 2 weeks in the fridge, and it didn't go off. Now, how do you know when it's off? You just, because there's no additives or preservatives or a use by date, you just got to look at it. If it's not moldy, it's not green, and it doesn't smell bad, you're good to go, basically. So, bye. All right, so this is really easy. Okay, bye. All right. Oh, you said hi. Okay, bye. Hi. All right, so we're going to add, let me get my ingredients. The recipe says pickled gherkins. If you're in Australia, which most of us are, these are just pickled cucumbers. So let me just tear my Thermomix to 0. Why isn't it going to 0? What's touching? Okay, so 50 grams. And then we're going to chop that with some shallots. Again, I didn't have shallots, so I'm actually using the purple onion, which is not as, what's the word for onion? It's a little bit sweeter onion. And we're going to chop that up 7 seconds on speed 8. Okay, that's more than done. That took 4 seconds. All right, let's have a look. Because you may need to scrape it down and just do it again, which is, well, no, I don't think that needs to happen at all. It looks pretty good. There we go. And then we're going to add our homemade mayonnaise, so 200 grams of mayonnaise. There we go. So it makes a lot, 1 batch of mayonnaise. So this is just over 200 grams. Just a little bit more in there. So we'll be having burgers in the next few days to use up this sauce for sure. Now a little bit of white sugar. So it's just got a little bit of white sugar. It's got mustard powder. Now I didn't have mustard powder, but I had mustard seeds. And again, a bit of Google told me that mustard powder is milled mustard seeds. So I only had a little bit, but the Thermomix did an amazing job in milling that for me. And I've got some garlic powder as well. So that's just going to go in there. Now, if you didn't have the mustard seeds, you could just use mustard. And that would be fine. And some, what was that? Yeah, a pinch of salt. That was all. So 10 seconds on speed 4. So that's just mixing it all together. That's all it's doing. And there you go. You've got your sauce, your Big Mac style sauce for your burgers. Oh, that smells so good. It's actually even got the color of the Big Mac sauce and everything. I think because I also use the purple onion, it's contributed to that color. So there we go. Our Big Mac sauce with homemade mayonnaise, which probably only costs like $1 to make. So cheap. I'm going to give it a taste. See if it's good for salt. That is really yum. I'll probably put a bit more salt, but do you want to taste it? Big Mac sauce. Okay, so there's our big, I'm being overrun by kids. You're hungry. Okay, it's just, you're still hungry. Okay, give me a second. Okay, I'm getting the thumbs up from the kids for the Big Mac sauce. All right, kids, go, 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 go. All right. That is really nice. So definitely give that a go. Now I'm going to show you the KFC chicken. So now I like a recipe from Thermo Bliss. So if you just Google KFC crispy fried chicken, the recipe will come up. Now it's a whole bunch of spices. I will read them out to you because I've got them all prepared here on this plate. And yeah. Yeah, can you guys go that way and put chocolate? Give him a bit of chocolate. That'll quiet him up for a bit. All right, so now this is actually really similar and it's to KFC and it's such a good recipe. There is something very similar on Cookie Dough, but it wasn't quite the same, so I decided to go with this, the KFC one. Now, it's got 2 tablespoons of salt. You can reduce that if you like, but it is, it's not overpowering because it makes quite a lot. 1.5 tablespoons of black peppercorns. Now, I do find this one a lot. It's quite peppery, so I always do just half of the black peppercorns. 1.5 tablespoons of dried onion flakes, 1 tablespoon of dried garlic granules, 1 tablespoon of dried rosemary. Yeah, if you ask me if I want bread, 1/2 tablespoon of dried basil, paprika, oregano, and yellow mustard seeds. Now, all of this is going to be milled all at once. Dried thyme, dried tarragon, and then some plain flour. That's all I was going to say. That's all it is, but it's actually quite a lot of herbs and spices. So we're going to pop them into the bowl. And we're just going to, where's my lid? To mill this for, how long does the recipe say? Just about 10 seconds on speed 30. Speed 30. 30 seconds on speed 10 is what I was going to say. Okay, and then once that's done, we're just going to add some plain flour. And then you're going to blitz it again so everything just mixes together really nicely. But there are our, oops. Okay, that's good. There are our milled herbs and spices. That just went down my throat. Oh my goodness. Okay, and now we're going to add 350 grams of flour. So, oh, that pepper just went down my throat. This seems to happen to a lot to me at Zoom cooking classes. All right, 350 grams in there. I think I have, exactly 351, and I guesstimated that. All right, and now we're just going to mix it together again, and then we have our KFC spice mix. So that was just speed 6 for a few seconds, and that's done. Now I just keep it in a jar. So I've got some here that I made a few months ago. This lasts for ages. So that's ready to go whenever I need it. And let's have a look. All right, and there's our spice mix. Now, I also made butter this morning, and when I made butter, I was left with buttermilk. So if you've never seen how to make butter, let me know and I can show you. But what I did is I marinated some chicken breast that I cut into strips and I marinated it in the buttermilks. So it's been sitting here since this morning. This is going to tenderize the chicken, so it comes out nice and soft. Now, if you didn't have the buttermilk to do this, you could sprinkle some bicarb on the chicken and let it sit for 10-15 minutes, but then you just got to rinse the chicken before you use it, and that's going to tenderize the chicken. So because this is breast, and tenderizing it either with buttermilk or bicarb will make it really nice and soft. So I'm going to keep this one in here overnight, but I've already got some here that I am going to coat with the KFC chicken. And I've got here as well some egg that I've mixed with also a bit of buttermilk. So it just makes it a bit more liquidy and just makes it more manageable when you're dipping the chicken in the egg. And I'm just going to get the spice mix. So you don't want to put all the spice mix in here. You just want to do it in batches, because if you pour it all in there, and because it makes a lot and you don't use it all, you're going to have to throw it in the bin. So do it in batches. So that's my tip. Now, this can be done in the air fryer. So this doesn't have to be deep fried, which is great. So I think most of us would have an air fryer by now. But if you are going to put it in the air fryer, you have to spray the coating with some olive oil. Otherwise, it's not gonna work out very well in the air fryer. So you can get a little olive oil spray. I think where is it? I know it's under there somewhere. You can get them from our mix shop, or any kind of spray will work. So you want to do this twice. So these have been pat dried, so there's no buttermilk left on there. And we're just going to dip it in the egg wash, and then we're going to put it in the flour mix, and then we're going to repeat it. So if you do it twice, you're going to get a really crispy coating. All right. And if you wanted to, you could taste that flour just a little bit to see if it has enough salt. So I recommend you do that. But I've done this so many times that I know it's fine. But I do add a little less. So, all right. So now this can get a bit messy, but highly recommend it. And you can have this on a Friday night with some chips. You can make some coleslaw. So it's just like going to KFC, but a lot healthier. So I'm just going to give my hands a quick wash because I've got some announcements to make. All right, so I hope you guys have enjoyed tonight and you've picked up some tips from my consultants and I, and you're going to walk away and you're going to try some of these dishes. If you do, let us know. And if you're on our social pages, Facebook or Instagram, pop a picture of what you've made, because we do love to see what you're cooking. Now, we have our first face-to-face cooking class since COVID started. We have one on the 23rd of June. So my team and I, in collaboration with another two teams that are in Southwest Sydney, we're going to be running a cooking class on the 23rd of June. So save the date. Let me just grab the information for you. It's in Narellan. So Narellan is out Camden Way, if you haven't heard of Narellan before, down towards Camden. And it's going to be held at the Spokes Brewery. So awesome venue there that the owners have allowed us to use. 23rd of June, it's going to be at 7 p.m. Is it 7 p.m? Let me just check. I'll pop the link to this in the email that I send you. Tickets are going to be $35, but there are early bird tickets. So if you purchase before the 9th of June, they're $30. So keep a lookout for that. We'd love to see you there. Tickets are capped at 40 because, our cooking like classes are always capped at 40. So it's going to fill fast because we haven't had one since COVID. So for at least 2 years, we haven't had a face-to-face cooking class. So we're really excited. And in 2 weeks, we have a Zoom cooking class called Meals in the Flesh on Zoom. It's free. Again, everyone's welcome to attend. So keep a lookout for that one as well. And I'll pop those details on an email. So I was just check if anyone has any more questions. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the dishes tonight. They all looked really yum, didn't they? I can't wait to try that pad thai. Sue, how's the pad thai? I can see you giving it a go. Is it yummy?
Yes, it is. Yum. No more
Would you
why.
put? Has it got enough chili or too much chili or
No, it's just not nice for me. I don't like anything too chili. Yeah.
too chili? Okay, all right. Well, I think I'll be making that tomorrow because that looked delicious. Well, thank you everyone for attending tonight. As usual, we loved having you with us, and we hope to see you soon at our next cooking class. Lunch tomorrow? School lunch? KFC chicken. Ooh. Okay, I'm going to stop recording.